What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a few tips on foot positioning while riding your electric skateboard. Let's get started.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is, are you regular footed or goofy footed? What that means is what stance you have on your board. Do you have your left foot forward or your right foot forward? I know most of you that are riding electric skateboards or are getting into riding electric skateboards probably already have a good knowledge about stance and other normal things about riding, you know, like a normal skateboard. But I just want to go over this so you guys don't have any questions. So I just cover all the bases. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so how we're gonna tell if you're regular footed or goofy footed is by setting your board on the ground like this. Usually you would wanna take it and flip it upright, but with these wheels, I can't do that. It just falls over. So I'm just gonna do it like this. It doesn't really matter which way you set it up. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna do this, you're gonna take a few steps back and you're gonna jump over it. If your right foot hits the ground first, then you're goofy footed. And if your left foot hits the ground first, you're regular footed. So, as you can tell, my right foot hit the ground first. I already know I'm goofy footed, but some of you might not know that. So if you're, like I just said, right foot hits the ground first, you're goofy footed, left foot hits the ground first, you're regular footed. Okay, so the next thing I want to go over is foot positioning. Where do you want to put your feet on the deck? If you have graphic grip tape, this is a little bit easier because you can get your feet and put them in the same exact spot every time because you can use markings on your deck. As you can tell, I have graphics on my grip tape. I know my front foot goes right here over the SP logo. You can see that my foot always goes there because it's a little worn down. And back here, foot usually right here, toe hanging off, and heel right on the YouTube logo right there. But you want to have your feet planted just about shoulder width apart. Sorry, my head's getting cut off. Just about shoulder width apart. You don't want to have it too close because you can lose your balance. You don't want to have it too far because it's kind of hard to turn that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump on here. And you can see I'm rolling. My front foot goes right over the logo right there. And my back foot right there, toe hanging off, and heel right about on the edge of the YouTube logo right there. So that's the main thing about where you want to put your feet. You don't have them too far apart because it's a little hard to turn and it's just hard to ride that way. But if you have them too close, then you're gonna lose your balance way easier and you're gonna get thrown off if you hit any rocks or anything like that. So just about shoulder width apart, you probably know what that feels like, but really it's all about what feels comfortable to you on your deck. You might want to ride with your feet farther apart or your front foot just about hanging off the nose, which I know some people that do that, or you might have it further back. You might sit further back on the deck or more forward. It's just a preference thing, but mainly you want to keep your feet about shoulder width. Like I said, too close, lose your balance, too far, hard to turn and all that stuff. Okay, so my next tip is you want to be relaxed. You don't want to have your muscles tensed up or your knees locked, because if your knees are locked and your muscles are tensed up, like I said just a second ago, if you go any bumps, it's gonna throw you off because your muscles are already tensed up. You wanna have them loose, have your legs loose, just relax. So then when you go over bumps, your body kind of just goes with it. It's kind of hard to explain, but it makes sense when you're riding. So if I get on my board right here, I might start rolling again, but if I'm riding, I know you can't tell because I have pants on, but if I'm riding with my legs tensed up, if you get on your board and do that, you can tell that it's a little bit hard to do anything, but just relax, good breath. You want to be relaxed on your board. You don't want to be tensed up, woke, or scared while you're riding, because if you're scared, you're not going to be having fun. You want to be having fun while you're riding and not be scared of falling off. But yeah, that's the main thing. Stay relaxed. You don't want to be tensed up. Keep your knees bent, your arms slack. Just relax, take a few breaths, and there's probably going to be a lot more noise in the background from now on. You can hear planes and maybe people working over there, but yeah, that's it. That's I think number 3. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so my fourth tip for you guys is don't be afraid to move your feet around while you're riding. What I mean by that is if you have your foot in the wrong place, let's say it feels like your feet are too close. If you look down and notice that your front foot is a little bit too far back, you can take that front foot and inch it forward a little bit. You can either do that by sliding it, which might be a little bit more safe, or you can completely pick it up and move it, which it's a little bit scary to do, but you can do it. If I'm standing here and I notice that my front foot's back here and this doesn't feel right, I can completely pick my foot up and move it. Be careful while doing that, but you can do it. Don't be afraid to do it. You don't have to completely stop to move your feet, but that also leads into you're able to move your feet around on the deck to be able to move, to be able to turn a little bit tighter. So if you're going into a tight corner, you can pick your front foot up and hang your toes off the board a little bit more. It'll give you a little bit more leverage in that turn, and you can turn way tighter even if your trucks are pretty tight. As you can tell on this board, and if you've been watching my videos for a while, I have a belt drive board. And that means that my deck sometimes will hit the motor, which means it stops my turn. That's why I have my truck so loose on this board, is so I can turn a little bit better. But sometimes I still can't. So if I take my toes and I hang them over a little bit, then I can turn front side a little bit better. And if I take my heel and hang it off a little bit, I can turn back side a little bit better. We're gonna get more into that in a little bit when we go to riding footage where I can show that to you guys, filmed on the 360 camera, so you guys can just see that a little bit better. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut to that now. I'm actually gonna go home first. I'm at my grandparents' house at a spot I film over here, but we'll head back to my house and I will finish this up tomorrow. I'll see you guys back home where we can film with the 360 camera and see really what I'm talking about here and get more in depth with moving your feet around and just foot positioning in general. Okay, so we are out filming on the 360 camera now with, as you can tell, my skateboard. It's actually just about a week later because I was gonna film it the next day, but then it rained for like a week. So it's now a week later and it's really nice out. There is a bit of wind once I get further down because the trees kind of just push it towards you and it's really annoying. When I'm just riding and I don't have to worry about holding the stick and everything, I can really take these corners. I'm to the point now on this path because it basically leads everywhere. It leads pretty much everywhere I go on my rides. So it's kind of one of my main drags. So I'm able to take it super fast, and I've got a line down, like a racing line, if you want to say it like that, down. So I know where to go, where to let off, where to give extra. Like the apexes of the turns and stuff like that. So we're gonna go through this. Some of these turns are really annoying right now because there's got so much pine straw on them. But if you see when I go into this first turn right here, I'll take my foot and I'll hang just about my toes completely off right there. And all that basically does is let you get more lean angle. You're leaning the same amount, but it lets you get a little bit further off. So this turn is so fun, but it can be really, really dangerous if you do it wrong. I hang my feet off a lot and I kind of take it at the very edge of it right there. It's just where I've learned to take it now. This turn is fun but blind. So I'll go into it a little bit slower, which means I don't really have to move my foot. This one right here, I do have to move my foot a lot because like I was saying earlier, it's kind of sketchy to take backside. So right here, I'll hang my heel off a lot. And I really just put all the weight on my heels, and I just lean back and take it all the way right there. It can be really fun, but also can be kind of dangerous. I have noticed that this one turn, the one that I was just talking about, not this one, but the one over there where I was saying you can take it really fast, but it can throw you off. I used to be able to take that going this way, going full speed, but I can't anymore with these new wheels. That's one thing with the clouds. So now I'll hang my toes off again. I'll kind of stay on the outside here and start giving it more as I get to the end of the turn and I'm out. I can move my foot around. My foot doesn't feel like it's in the right spot. Without looking, I kind of just shift it around like that until I find the spot, which is right there. Again, blind turn. Okay, going into this one right here, I let off. As soon as I get into it, I can go back on again. As you can tell, my heel is still hung off the back. That's just setting me up for all the turns. I really don't have to take it off. It's also usually where I leave it because backside turns for me on this board are kind of hard to do. So there it is. that's basically it. Like I was saying earlier in the video, is when you're riding like this, I'm going slow right now, but when you're going fast, you can kind of just shift your feet around. I even move my back foot around a bit, just kind of shimmy them around until it feels right. Right there actually feels perfect. That's pretty much where I ride. And then if I go out here, move it back just a little bit to get through that with no problems. And then you're onto a big, long straightaway where I can just do some nice carves. And as you can tell when I do carves, when I go front side, my heel comes off a lot. So as you can see, when I do front side carves and I'm but what I mean by front side, back side is if I'm leaning and turning towards my toes or towards my heels. Front side is toes, back side is heels. But when I go front side, you can see how much my heel comes off the deck. And that's basically the same thing, is where it just gives you a lot of leverage into that turn. It's the same thing as moving your foot backwards or forwards, but a little bit safer. And honestly, when you're doing carves like that, it's so much fun. Instead of just doing it all with your knees where you're just doing that, if you use your ankles too, it makes those turns so much more fun, and you can really get into those carves a lot more. And you can get to the point where you're just about sliding your tires, and that's where you know you're getting pretty close to losing traction. But that's where it's the most fun. It's right in that area. That's when you're really leaned out. And I'm kind of losing some speed, and doing carves will make you go way slower. It's one way to slow down. But that's basically all I have for you guys today. Just some super simple things about where to place your feet on your deck, and that it is okay to move your feet around. You don't have to, you know, keep your feet planted right here and can't move them. No, I move my feet around all the time when I ride. And also, of course, keep your knees bent, keep your muscles relaxed. That's the way it's going to be the most fun when you're riding. You're gonna have the most fun riding that way. You don't want to be all tensed up because you're gonna be scared. Or if you're scared, you're gonna be tensed up, and when you're tensed up, it's not a fun ride. So yeah, that's basically all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Kind of a random video, I don't know. I wish I could kind of explain this a little better, but it's one of those things where you really just gotta go ride, and you'll start to feel it. And usually when I start, I can feel my back foot. It's always in the wrong spot when I go off. So I'll kind of just move it around like that until I find that spot that's just perfect, which is just about right there where it's at right now. My front foot, I like to have it just about there, just pretty much where I can just see the S in my logo. And if you guys don't have graphic grip tape, it might be a little bit harder to find those spots, but after a while you will make prints on your grip tape where you've scuffed it up a lot. That's mainly the way you can see it. Electric skateboards are really fun. You want to keep it that way. You don't want to be all tensed up. But yeah, like I tried to say earlier, I'm going to stop rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Later. It's the best part. Nice smooth roads right here. Oh, it's amazing. Carves are so much more fun.